Hi everyone! Today we have another Halloween and fall recipe, inspired by Washington Irving's short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, where he paints a picture of what life was like in an 18th century Dutch-American village. You may also know this short story as the story of Ichabod Crane, which is also shown on the Disney film Ichabod and Mr. Toad, where we see Brom Bones tell Ichabod Crane the story of the Headless Horseman, the worst ghost in all of Sleepy Hollow. Now you've probably heard of a cruller before, but the one you're thinking of is probably found in a donut shop. Although they have the same name, this one is much different. This treat is deep fried and in the shape of a golden corkscrew curl. And if you happen to know what I'm talking about and think, wow, that must be really hard to make, because they do look very intricate, they're not at all hard to make, and it only takes 4 ingredients. 5 if you count the oil you fry it in. So let's jump into that recipe. For these Dutch-American crullers, you'll need 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour, 9 tablespoons of butter softened, 2 tablespoons of cream, and 1 egg. Let's get started on it. We're going to start by adding our softened butter to a bowl, and we'll cream it until it's light and fluffy. I'm going to be using a hand mixer, but if you want to use a stand mixer, that's perfectly fine. It's pretty spread about the bowl, but it should look something like this. We're now going to add our flour a little bit at a time, and we'll incorporate it into the butter with the mixer. You will have quite a crumbly mixture. Now we'll go ahead and add the cream and the egg, and we'll incorporate that in with the mixer. Be sure not to overmix your dough. We only want to mix it until it forms the dough. We're now just going to lightly flour our surface, and we're going to turn the dough out onto the surface, form it into a ball, and then we'll roll it out. We want to try to get it into a rectangle or square shape. Here's what my dough looks like now. I will say that it is a very soft and sometimes sticky dough, so if you seem to have trouble with it sticking, you can go ahead and flour it a little bit as you roll it out. I'm now going to go ahead and just trim the edges so that they're even and straight with the sharp knife. We're now going to cut this into strips, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide. This is what it should look like. Now this recipe makes 20 to 30 crullers depending on how long you make them. I was able to get about 27. I'm going to go ahead and transfer these to a tray, and we'll head over to the stove to fry them up. Let's head over to the stove. We're now going to go ahead and heat our oil up. I'm using ghee to fry my crullers in because I don't use any seed oils, and I'm currently out of peanut oil, which is what I usually fry in, but you can use whatever oil you like. Our oil is hot, and now we're going to go ahead and start forming that corkscrew shape. You'll want to go ahead and grab yourself a wooden spoon with a round end. And just by the way, I have my stove on a medium heat. We're simply just going to wrap the cruller dough around the end of the spoon to create that corkscrew shape. And I'll go ahead and stretch the dough a little bit as I wrap it. And I just kind of secured the ends on the other part of the dough. We'll go ahead and just gently slide this into the oil. We want to cook them until they're a golden color. I'm just going to move them around a bit to make sure they're getting cooked evenly. and I'm just gonna dust them with some powdered sugar. Actually, that's 6 ingredients instead of 5, but it's still such a simple recipe. And here we have our Sleepy Hollow Dutch American Crullers. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you happen to like it and found it interesting, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave those below in the comments section. Bye y'all.